Hi everyone, I'm Gloria. Nice to meet you all. Welcome to my channel. Grab something cozy to drink, sit down, relax, and we are going to have a really fun video today. I want to talk about what it's like to really be or to become soft and feminine. Obviously, there's different definitions or different looks of femininity. And I really want to focus and hone in on really how to be that soft, feminine girly. In a world that celebrates hustle and independence, there is such a quiet power in softness. And truth be told, it makes me so sad because I bought into that before. I used to think that being feminine was weak or not anything to aspire to, and that women should be like men. And it's like, hold on, let's slow down, because there is a gift that we have as women, a God-given gift to embody grace and strength and gentleness and all the things that we can do as women that men just simply do not have. They have their beautiful strengths too. They have amazing strengths. But women, we have something else to offer. And no, it doesn't necessarily all have to look like this soft aesthetic on the outside, but I think this will be a really good video just in general for capturing what it really means, at least on a topical layer, to have that persona, I suppose. Today I want to share what I think true femininity means to me. I am coming at it from an angle that is rooted in biblical truths, but whether you share my faith or you simply like the aesthetic or you simply want to know what it feels like to be more feminine, this video is for everyone. It's for you, especially if you're craving more softness and just embracing more feminine elegance in your life. So what is femininity then? As I was saying, femininity as I see it is a God-given gift to women as a complement to masculinity. It's the embodiment of grace, gentleness, and like this nurturing strength. True femininity would remain the same despite all the trends, like whether movie tropes and book tropes and whatever continue to ebb and flow into this is what a woman looks like and this is what it is and this is it. No. It's rooted and it's foundational and it doesn't change because it's who we innately have the qualities to be. Okay, let's talk about a couple misconceptions. Society often equates femininity with fragility or weakness in a lot of ways. I do think some of it is changing, at least things that I've been seeing, at least biblically, right? Being a feminine woman is strong, but it's just in a different way than masculinity. Femininity does not need to assert its dominance in order to prove its worth. So that means we don't need to go around proving to people, I am so tough, I am so strong, or I am so this, I am so worthy of it, or worthy of anything. It thrives on cooperation and softness and knowing that it's okay to depend on others once trust has been established. Yes, that's right. We don't all have to be strong, independent women, because really anyone who says that, you're not truly, fully independent. And if you are, you might struggle with loneliness because that means you literally depend on no one and nothing. And that's not what we're called to do. We're human beings. We thrive amongst hanging out with friends and family and loved ones and our spouses and whoever. Like, we love that support, and we also love caring for people. Like, if you have people that you love in your life, don't you have just like a sense of doing things for them because would make them happy? Like maybe it's cooking for them, baking for them, or just being kind to them in some sort of way. And it's not to say men can't do that, but I'm talking about it from a woman's perspective here today. And that is something that we have such a gift to be able to read and be perceptive of and to do. Again, while my understanding of it is going to stem from Christianity, this video is for everyone who wants to embrace more soulfulness, more of that energy in their life. It's a gift. That feminine energy is a gift for all women, regardless of your background. I'm going to be breaking this up into two sections. I'm going to talk about the outer layers and then the inner layers. And this is just going to be kind of like a brief overview. I would honestly love to do videos one day talking about how to be an it girl, how to get inspired by certain characters. I want to do that. I want to do more fashion things, and I could even break down tidbits of these layers basically, but this is just an overarching overview. So starting with the outside, right? It's the fun part. Obviously, true femininity and us being human beings, we go much deeper than just the outside. But there's nothing wrong with enjoying beauty. I'll say it again. There is literally nothing wrong with enjoying beauty and feeling pretty and embracing the fun, soft, feminine aesthetics, which can look differently for everyone. We're going to talk about 4 points: hygiene, appearance, fashion, and creativity. Talking about hygiene first, right? Let's talk about what that even means. So when we really want to be that feminine, soft girl, right? A lot of that stems from prioritizing our self-care, of course. Maybe there's hesitancy in investing in some basics that you want. For instance, like, oh, I could go for the basic, I don't know, shampoo, but this one smells so good and I really want this one, and this one says it's like better for your hair, but oh, it's too much. But like, it's okay to invest in things that are going to feel good for you to put on. Lotions and face masks, and prioritizing doing your self-care, doing an everything shower at least like once a week is like the best feeling ever. You just like top to bottom, shave and everything. You just come out like a new person. It's amazing. Putting more effort into our skincare. There's times when I can attest. There's times when I've been sick or just like glummy. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like a glob, like a literal like, ugh. And when I have those moments, you know, my hair is just in its like in like a dirty bun. I'm wearing like not the cutest outfit around the house, just like a boring like oversized t-shirt, oversized sweatpants. Like, I feel gross. And I'm not like taking care of my skin as much as I should be. Like, I've been there and it doesn't feel good. You actually, even when you're just at home by yourself or just at home with your friends, with your family, with your husband, whoever, it's makes the world of a difference when you take those extra steps just for yourself to prioritize doing your hair. Like, I literally have been using a hair, like those night curler things that you put in your hair overnight, and using like a satin bonnet when I sleep, and my hair has changed so much. Like, it's so much softer now, and throughout the day, like, it'll have like some curls throughout the day now, and I just feel so much better about life. It's so much more confident. Doing teeth whitening, you know, plucking your eyebrows, shaving little bits of hair that you need to shave. And another thing I want to talk about really quickly with like hair and hygiene, I know sometimes as women, you know, if we have like hair that tends to get greasy, there's people like, you know, that they don't get it as dirty throughout the week as often, and there's people like me, I probably need to wash it about 3 times a week. And there was a time in a period where I would be complaining like, ugh, it's time to wash my hair. And then I will get more into that with like in the inner work part, but talking about just like the way we use our mouth, complaining about the opportunity that we have to take care of ourselves is not good. It makes us more grumpy. It shows less gratitude. And it shows us less gratitude for things that we have, like our hair. We should be so grateful if, you know, if you have hair, if you don't, whatever it is, like if you just need to take care of scalp or anything, like just my point is, instead of complaining about the things that we have to do, like, I gotta wash my hair, I gotta do that, I have to do that. Like, I know it takes a while, but what a blessing it is. And I hope that throughout this video, if anything, it just inspires you to maybe like remember that the things that we have the opportunity to do, even to do these self-care rituals, even to do face masks and take care of our skin and do our skincare routine or whatever it may be, to shower, whatever it may be, that all that is such a blessing. Not everyone has the opportunity to do those things. And even remembering those things and coming at it with a sense of gratitude cultivates that feminine character even more. I think ultimately the ultimate goal is to pamper yourself. And the more you feel put together, truly it shows on the outside. Smelling good, smelling clean every day, having at least clean nails. You don't have to paint them all the time, but at least that they're like, you just feel clean and put together. World of a difference. Skipping over to appearance, we're going to talk about, it's important to prioritize your appearance. As a feminine woman, there's women out there who don't care about the way they look. That's the way they want to be. That's okay. We're not going to judge that. But if we want to be women that care about our appearance and the way we look and the way we smell and the way we're presenting ourselves, it starts again from the inside out. It starts with like prioritizing our nutrition, eating foods that make you feel good, that taste good, that don't make you get bloated, that aren't greasy, because all that like might show on your skin. I could do a whole other topic about that kind of stuff, but just in general, having good nutrition. And it might be expensive. And that's another thing we're going to talk about is investing into our appearance. Sometimes people think that investing in your beauty means that you're just spending on like getting your hair done or doing your nails or whatever it may be. If you have the means and you want to do that, please go ahead. That's amazing. I love it. Spend money getting your hair done. It's an investment, so you feel good. Even if that just means getting a haircut. If you spend money doing your nails, even if that just means getting like cuticle nail oil or whatever it may be. But especially it means like investing in good food. Sometimes the quality food might be a little more pricey, but that is going to be better for you long term because it's going to make you look better, it's going to make you feel better, and it's going to present just as a more feminine person, someone who takes care of themselves because you like to take care of other people, but you also are taking care of yourself. Nurturing is something that is so innately feminine. And so when we can nurture ourselves, it also makes us good at nurturing other people, Not to say that if you're like a mom or whatever, you're, I hear it. I'm not a mom yet. I'm excited to be one day. But when you get to nurture your kids. Sometimes I know that moms might leave themselves a little bit behind, and that's okay. Have grace with yourself. Obviously, that is a whole different topic and subject. But if wherever you're able to pamper your appearance, get a haircut that you feel really cute and flattered in, wearing makeup. You don't need to. Honestly, I think the more light you are with your makeup, it looks amazing. You don't need to be in 2016 doing like the thick eyeshadow and whatever. I mean, again, if you like that, go for it. But again, if we're talking about wanting to be a soft feminine, like in that soft girl aesthetic, I would go for more of like a softer makeup. I would go for blushes, some dewy skin, some nice either foundation or like the Charlotte Tilbury filter thing. You know what I mean? The glowy thing. Have a nice mascara, nice lip gloss, things that make you just feel cute and girly, ultimately. And the way that you show up for yourself, even on days, let's say you're like, oh, well, I don't go out. I work from home. I stay at home most of the time, blah, blah, blah. But even on those days, if you just show up for yourself and like fix your hair a little bit, put on a nice little outfit, you will feel more of that femininity through your day-to-day instead of just feeling like it's a show that you put on just when you go out like that one day a week or something like that. So yeah, prioritizing your appearance, very important. And then we're going to talk about creativity. So women have an innate sense to nurture, to create, to beautify. And sometimes that might mean exploring like baking and cooking and things, because that's something I actually really love to do now. I love to cook and bake, especially with my husband. Since he loves the things I make so much, it's fun for me to like experiment and try new things for him. In general, it's important, men or women, to serve others. It's not good to be selfish. It's good to serve. And sometimes that rubs people the wrong way. Like, I'm not a servant. Well, again, I'm looking at things from a biblical perspective, and we are all called men and women, to serve. We are. That just means, caring for them, going above and beyond for them. What can I do to serve you today, or whatever that may be? And sometimes that ties in with our creativity too, and maybe it means allowing yourself to finally do something you've always wanted to do. Maybe you like to journal, or horse ride, or flower arrange, or make flower crowns, or paint. I personally can't wait to paint and sew more. I like to sew and I really like to paint, but I haven't had as much space where I'm at right now to do those things. So I can't wait to hopefully one day get to do that more. Being artistic, reading even. And sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, well, what kind of hobbies would I have if I was like in a period drama like Pride and Prejudice, one of my absolute faves, or like in Cinderella 2015. Like, what would I feel like if I was the main character of one of those quaint films? What would I do? And sometimes when I get in that headspace and I do the things, it makes it more fun for me. Sometimes I'll even put those movies on in the background, and it makes it more fun. Because that's another thing, is like cultivating our space, putting on the cute music in the background, putting on the cute movie that you like things that inspire you continually. World of difference. It's going to feel so much more fun, especially when you're being creative, like baking, cooking, painting, reading, etc., whatever it may be. Also, another thing to prioritize is spending time in nature if you can. Nature is a blessing and a gift to be around, and if you are so blessed to be around beautiful nature, just soak that in. Be around animals. I love animals. I think all those things also help cultivate our creativity. Okay, and now we're going to get into the inner layers. So we're going to quickly touch on movement, compassion, humility, and our speech. So movement, what does that mean? This might be really unpopular with the regular status quo of things, what I'm about to say. But again, I'm rooted in my biblical truths. Confidence cannot come from innate trust in yourself. It can't. It cannot stem from thinking you're a goddess, or that you're all that, or that people need to worship the ground you walk on, or that men need to bow down to you, because those are not rooted in true confidence. That's not true confidence. That is rooted in vanity. That is unkind, because we're looking at people like they're beneath us. That it is rooted in selfishness, thinking that the world is here to serve me and I am the epicenter of the whole world. Thinking that, I'm better than anyone else. That is not true confidence. Confidence is not stemming from looking down on other people. There's a big difference between self-love, the version of that says that you're perfect and that people need to love you and that people need to change to be around you, that you don't need to change, versus having the humility and being like, wait, yep, I'm not perfect. I do need to change. I'm not perfect. No, we're not, okay? Our worth and our value needs to come from something bigger than us. For me, I believe that we're image bearers of God. I believe that our Creator chose us for such a time as this. He made us. He has a plan and a purpose and calls us worthy to be here. He says that we're so loved that He died for us so that we could have life. And that, to me, is where my confidence stems from. And again, you don't have to agree with that. You could have your version of confidence, but I just definitely know that confidence cannot come from looking down on others, thinking you're the end all be all of the whole universe. That is not confidence. If we're looking at God, again, He loves you more than any man on this earth ever has and ever will. And He says that you're worthy of it all. And it's not in the things that we do that make us worthy. We don't have to earn His love. He loves us already, but that doesn't mean we stay that way, by the way. But that's a whole other discussion I'd love to get into. But we do need to show love, by the way. And we do need to have our motives rooted in love and in kindness with things that we do. And that confidence that we have, like I said, I can only speak from my experience. So the confidence that I get from my trust in God roots me in such a way where I'm like, yes, I'm here. I know that I'm worthy. I know that I'm worthy of self-respect because He said I am, because of all these things. But that doesn't mean that I'm better than anyone else. He inspires me to move with more grace, with more humility. And those are other things that we're going to briefly touch on right now too. So other things that cultivate our movement as soft, feminine women. Pull up some movies that you like. One of my absolute top contenders for these is like Pride and Prejudice, Jane and Elizabeth Bennett, Audrey Hepburn in movies such as like Sabrina, or just in general. She's just so elegant. And of course, Cinderella 2015 is like my absolute, I love those movies so much. I love that movie so much. And just observe the way these women are and the way they move. You know, we're slow to speak. We have poise, elegance. We sit upright. We have a gentle way of wording things, a wise way of wording things, gentle communication, you know, learning how to just move with more slowness, and not slowness like in a way where it's like, oh, I'm going to be a little turtle, I'm not going to get anything done. No, but just in a way where it's just like we're fluid with our movements, where we just come across in a way where I'm thinking about what I'm going to say, and we're not going to be brash or impulsive with the things I'm going to say. I'm going to actually process and try to speak wisely. I don't want to instigate problems and make them worse, but how can I address this in a way that is actually in a more delicate way? When we move, when we speak, and we'll touch on speech in just a minute, but I mean, it all really comes back to like our outer movement and the way we present ourselves, that everything is, again, rooted in kindness, rooted in love, just being thoughtful for other people. Okay, really quickly, we're going to touch on the second topic, which is compassion, which is sharing, you know, having that compassion to really have a deeper curiosity to understand other people, even if we disagree with them, having that kindness. I think one of my favorite quotes from a movie, at least ever, is obviously from Cinderella 2015, where she says, have courage and be kind, because that really presents itself in the best way, not just for appearance sake, but it helps us too when we're moving with courage. And sometimes courage is being brave enough to speak your mind. That's another thing. Being feminine and graceful and soft and all that does not mean that you're a pushover. Trust me. I mean, there's times where I'm like extra not a pushover. And I do very quickly stand up for what I think. But I will say there's times when I could do it a little more wisely. And I'm working on it. But having compassion and being kind and stuff for people doesn't mean that you're a doormat or that people can walk all over you. Femininity is not passive or helpless either. In the Bible, at least, there's very strong women. One of my favorite examples being Esther, Ruth, and Mary, of course. A lot of these women had things that they needed to be strong in the moment, and they obviously had God's strength, but they were faithful and gentle and graceful, and that is the kind of femininity we can embody today. But you know, their strength was in kindness and faithfulness and gentleness and grace, and that is the kind of femininity that we can embody today. There's a time to absolutely stand up for yourself. There's a time to be firm in what you're saying. Get your point across. Say what you need to say. You don't need to like stay quiet. You can say what you need to say, make your point, and leave it at that. You're not going to try to convince people that they need to see you as like worthy. You're not going to try to convince a guy, let's say, that he needs to treat you well. You're going to say your piece, and you're going to have that quiet strength to leave it at that. Those are just a couple examples off the top of my head. Again, I could go deeper into that, but I do think it's really important to have a firmness and have that strength and stand up for yourself when you need to, and also have the wisdom to know when it's time to just hold our tongues and know that it's not worth it to just be impulsive or brash. I think that's really what it is. It's not being brash and harsh and quick with our words, but you know, going back to like the compassion and the gentleness, when we respond with grace, even when we're frustrated at something, I think that just speaks more about our character than anything else. Okay, now we're going to touch on humility really quickly. So humility is obviously the opposite of pridefulness. Obviously, I'm not sure if we all know this, but pride is not good. We don't need to have pride in ourselves or in our abilities, but it is so much better when we come at things from a viewpoint of humility. And that is not just necessarily in our personalities, but also sometimes in the way we can present ourselves to the outside, the way we speak, the way we dress. If our intention, for instance, in the way we're dressing is like, oh, I want to show off how much I have, how much money I have, I want to show off. Like if that's our heart posture, that's not good. It's not good because it's just not going to lead down a good path. Like it's not a good heart posture to have. It's much better to have. And again, I'm not saying you can't dress up and show off or do whatever you need, but if the heart posture is that I want to show off, I want to show to other people, it stems from insecurity. Modesty and purity, those are huge things when it comes to being a soft, feminine girly. And sometimes those rub people the wrong way. And again, we could get into this in a whole nother video, but it's not just about clothing, but it's about having a heart that values integrity. Integrity is, of course, what you do when no one's watching, right? What you do all the time, consistently. And having a pure heart, having pure intentions with yourself, with other people, having that self-respect to know that not everyone out there, deserves to have all of you. That's important, please, as women. Like I would love to go further into this one day, and if we are talking about more modesty with clothing, it is important to have a more modest approach to clothing. That looks different for everyone. It might look different at different stages in our lives. But to be honest, I think it's really important to just have does everyone in this whole space deserve to see all my little bits and pieces? Have they earned that? No, then why do they deserve it? I don't know. It's just things to kind of keep in mind of, that not everyone is deserving to have all of you. And we have the ability to give and to choose and to pick and choose who and what we give of ourselves. We can be kind with everyone, but that doesn't mean we just give all of ourselves to everyone. And I think that helps with our confidence too. And lastly, just really quickly, we're going to touch on speech. I know we kind of talked about speech earlier, like having a more slow to speak, that poise and stuff. And that might not necessarily be you. Again, this is all just take what you want, leave what doesn't resonate with you for now. But something that really matters, especially if we want to be more feminine, more soft. And again, I'm only speaking to women as I am a woman. I'm only speaking to a woman audience, I hope. If we're cursing, let's not curse. It not only taints our tongues and our minds and the way that we speak under impulsive moments and stuff, cursing is just not soft. Saying a lot of bad, nasty words, string of words, calling other people names and stuff like that, that is not rooted in softness, and that is not rooted in strength. That is not rooted in that quiet strength or that gentleness or anything. It's pretty brash, abrasive. If you can, and it definitely can take practice, to look people in the eyes when you talk to them, smile at them in their eyes, nod, have those conversations, and it has such a soft appeal, such a charismatic appeal to it. It makes a world of a difference. Again, I also would love to make a video, and I think I will, about how to be more magnetic, have that it girl factors, but in my perspective, because it might be a little bit different than being a girl, walk all over the world like the world owes you everything. I have a little bit of a different perspective, but I would love to share that with you another time. To end, femininity is a gift. It is radiant and gently powerful, and I hope that kind of an overview of all this kind of helps you see where I'm coming from, that especially if you're trying to achieve this soft feminine aesthetic, We didn't even really touch on colors and things like that, for fashion. I'd love to do that another time too. How to dress more femininely, how to do all this. And again, there's different types of femininity. Of course there is. There's some people, and don't get me wrong, I like that too. I like to maybe sometimes pop on like a little dark blazer and some leather pants, sure, but I feel my most confident, my most happiest self when I'm really just embracing my light pinks and my skirts and my dresses. But that's just me. But again, there's different types of femininity I'd love to discuss. I'd love to deep dive on these types of things. And so whether you're here for the pretty aesthetics or my biblical truths behind it, or you just are here for the vibes, all good. I hope you feel inspired, and I hope you feel motivated to just like embrace our feminine qualities as women. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know if any of those topics that I've mentioned you'd like to see next, and have a wonderful rest of your day.